92 korban direkodkan akibat COVID-19 termasuk tunggakan kes yang belum dilaporkan sebelum ini.
The COVID-19 outbreak in Malaysia is among the many cases of the emergencies of the coronavirus disease 2019. COVID-19 that has been said to have been the result of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. It has therefore led to a very big change in the social, economic and health life of people all over the world. COVID-19 on coronavirus is a viral infection that is mostly mild and can be treated at home. A person should be privileged with more data on COVID-19, including the way it is contracted, so that one can reduce his chances of occurring the disease and at the same time not spreading it to others. They should also stay clear of contact with other people. Mouths which should be covered with closed face coverings and wash hands with alcohol-based hand rubs to a distance of at least 1 meter. To be more effective, they should get a vaccine to help curtail the spread of the COVID-19 disease. It is also beneficial in a sense that if many people take it, it also effectively tends to reduce the more severe COVID-19 disease. In return, it can produce life and diminish the spread of the COVID-19 disease, and in a way, it also shields individuals that are susceptible to contracting the said virus, the coronavirus. The virus is released from said person's mouth or noses through respiratory droplets when the infected individual talks, coughs, sneezes, or breathes. We should cover up our mouths and noses while coughing. Better if this is in a bent elbow, and if you are sick, stay at home until you get better. The COVID-19 pandemic mainly spread between people who are in close contact with each other. For example, during a discussion, one of the Malaysian authorities to stop the virus from spreading is sent out a movement control or the MCO, sometimes known as a lockdown. From this issue, it gives benefits and sometimes it can give a cost issue. Thus, leaders have updated challenges for them across sectors. During this time, social actors such as government, healthcare workers, local administration and private citizens were involved in ensuring that they put measures in place to be certain that they would minimize the impact of the pandemic on the rest of the population. There was a growth action where many people had to implement MCO and also to ensure that the people of nation are informed of everything going on during this time. There's a lot of pressure on the leadership to communicate within to the public about the enforcement of MCO or the extension of MCO. And apart from that, they need to follow SOP to prevent the spread of COVID-19. As much as everybody wants to minimize health risks, how is it possible to attain such while making certain the nation and its people were least impacted by the implementation of the MCO? Involved in during the economic impact while trying to find out how to help the companies and individuals suffering losses, using manpower to handle the polio healthcare system and purchase buy things for those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic to get equal service. Organizing and improving the construction of the essential furniture machine that will contain the basket of the foods, useful artifacts and the healthcare in the occurrence of MCO.
Next, I will talk about transformational leadership theory. First of all, transformational leadership theory. James McGregor Burns, 1978, and Bernard Bass, 1985, developed transformational leadership, which focuses on inspiring and motivating followers to go deeper than expectations, innovate, and dedicate themselves to a common goal. In times of crisis, when people look to leaders for guidance, optimism, and fortitude, this leadership style is particularly pertinent. Ideal influence is one of the key elements of transformational leadership. By setting an example, leaders promote respect and trust. This is seen in Malaysia by leaders who speak with assurance and morality, giving people hope during uncertain economic times. Additionally, inspirational motivation is a component of transformative leadership. Transformational leaders are believed to have an exciting vision, which is why this is the case. The goal of Malaysia's leadership, especially through programs like the National Economic Recovery Plan, PENJANA, was to boost the economy and assist disadvantaged populations while increasing public confidence. The next step is intellectual stimulation, which promotes creativity and innovative problem solving. For instance, Malaysia implemented digitization tactics to facilitate government procedures and assist small and medium-sized businesses, SMEs. Second, servant leadership theory. According to Robert Greenleaf's 1970 proposal, servant leadership is centered on putting followers' needs first, fostering their development, and developing a leadership style that is focused on the community. This idea is relevant to crisis management, particularly in times of economic and humanitarian disaster. This theory's core tenets are empathy and hearing what others have to say. By engaging stakeholders, including companies, non-governmental organizations, and citizens, Malaysian leaders exhibit these qualities. For instance, measures like housing assistance programs and pay subsidies are influenced by community input. Besides that, dedication to human development. Staff leadership's dedication to long-term economic resilience is demonstrated by initiatives to upskill personnel in high-demand sectors, including technology and healthcare. Subsequently, the leadership's supervisory actions during the post-COVID era were centered on both economic recovery and guaranteeing the viability of public health initiatives. My Digital Blueprint is one initiative that aims to protect Malaysia's future prosperity while promoting innovation. Last, but not least, adaptive leadership model. Ronald Heifetz and Marty Linsky developed the adaptive leadership model, which focuses the value of leaders supporting a group or society in overcoming difficult obstacles that call for change. This methodology is especially applicable to situations that need for quick thinking, teamwork, and learning, like the COVID-19 pandemic. Diagnosing the system is one of the fundamental aspects of this leadership. Adaptive leaders identify the underlying causes of problems. Recognizing the outbreak's confusion, Malaysian policymakers have implemented extensive measures to address its health, social, and economic aspects. Furthermore, this core of leadership also handles hardship, maintaining equilibrium by allowing for essential change while ensuring stability is a key component of adaptive leadership. To lessen financial suffering, the government has implemented gradual public health measures such as the Movement Control Order, MCO, and Prihatin, which are programs for economic recovery. Additionally, others can be empowered by this core. The idea claims that systemic change requires the empowerment of stakeholders, which explains why this is the case. In order to help firms, particularly SMEs, prosper in the post-pandemic economy, Malaysian officials are promoting digital transformation among them through training initiatives and grants.
The crisis leadership model offers a structured approach to managing crises through three key phases, which are pre-crisis, crisis response, and post-crisis. It emphasizes proactive planning to anticipate challenges, decisive actions to manage the crisis effectively, and strategic recovery to ensure long-term resilience. In the pre-crisis phase, Malaysia took early steps to minimize the impact of COVID-19. The Movement Control Order, implemented in March 2020, restricted movement to reduce transmission. Public health campaigns educated the population on hygiene, mask wearing, and social distancing. The government also strengthened the healthcare system by increasing hospital capacity, distributing PPE, and enhancing testing capabilities. Partnerships with international organizations like the World Health Organization ensured preparedness and resource availability. During the crisis response phase, Malaysia focused on stabilizing the situation. Economic stimulus packages such as Prihatin, worth RM260 billion, provided critical financial support to households and businesses, including wage subsidies and loan moratoriums. Healthcare efforts were bolstered by the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, which ensured widespread vaccine distribution, achieving significant coverage by mid-2021. Daily updates from leaders and health officials provided transparency, maintained public trust, and encouraged adherence to safety protocols. In the post-crisis phase, the focus shifted to recovery and building resilience for the future. The My Digital initiative encouraged businesses to embrace digital transformation, fostering economic resilience. Workforce upskilling programs prepared Malaysians for emerging industries like technology and renewable energy. Sustainability efforts, including investments in green technologies, supported long-term economic growth and diversification.
Malaysia's response to the pandemic illustrates the effective application of the crisis leadership model. Proactive measures, decisive crisis management, and adaptive recovery strategies minimize the pandemic's impact. However, the experience also highlighted areas for improvement, such as better communication and resource allocation, which are crucial for addressing future crises. This model underscores the importance of skilled and flexible leadership in navigating uncertainty, ensuring immediate stability, and fostering sustainable recovery.
To overcome this crisis, the government can do short-term strategies for economic stabilization. One of the most important measures was the establishment of the economic stimulus, as seen in the Pemerkasa Plus and Penjana packages. It's provided a significant amount of funds into the economy with beneficial finance for SMEs that were most affected by the pandemic. These packages delivered checks, vouchers, subsidies, and other forms of cash support to businesses so that they can pay their workers and keep them on board during the crisis. This approach enabled leadership to adjust the approaches as per the requirements of the economy at that particular time, so as to maximize the impacts of support in sectors that needed it most. Besides, the government launched Bantuan Prihatan Rakyat, BPR cash assistance, especially for low-income earners and other vulnerable individuals, aimed at reducing their financial burdens. Besides helping those families affected by their lost incomes and ensuring consumer spending in the economy, this measure is also crucial for recovery. Moreover, due to the increasing unemployment rate, a new program known as the Hiring Incentive Program, Penjana Kerjaya, was implemented targeting incentives to employers to offer vacancies to unemployment. Next, medium to long-term structural reforms. Apart from short-term stimulus, the leadership of Malaysia has envisaged some medium to long-term structural adjustments to strengthen the economy. One of the main implemented strategies was boosting the active external digitalization with the help of the undertaken measures. For example, the MyDIGITAL blueprint. The goals of this strategy include the development of innovation and digital technology to enhance the relevant sectors, contribute to the development of the digital economy, and improve the environment for foreign investments. The act of the government making the country embrace the digital era is an example of visionary leadership since it aims at creating a long-term direction for the progress of the nation. Besides that, the government can strengthening social safety nets to solve this crisis. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Malaysia's leadership has made a firm commitment to focus on building a more inclusive and sustainable recovery, with deliberate efforts to deepen social protection systems. COVID exposed that lower-income households, informal employees, and others in similar statuses had poor coping mechanisms, leading to improvements in welfare schemes and compensation rollout across the country. One of them is the enlargement of the Plan of Extension of the Employment Insurance System, EIS. This stands to endorse and give those who have been laid off a cash grant and employment assistance. This is a policy of keeping the unemployed effectively tied to the labor market through the extension of unemployment benefits and related counseling services in order to ensure that people re-enter the workforce economically when the initial disruption has occurred. Lastly, enhancing public-private partnerships. There is also another significant aspect of Malaysia's post-COVID plan, to prioritize the use of PPPs in reboots, the economy and innovation. The government understands that cooperation